Alrighty guys, so we're back. We're back. We have another issue. Do you have a 2005 Nissan Sentra and your windows are fogging up because you can't control the settings because the knob is stuck? Well, what happens, I had to tear the whole thing apart. It all just pops out with some tabs. This one though, where did this one go? Give me a second here. I think it was this one right here. It has screws on the side, so don't pull this one. But the top one just pops out. Okay, so the issue with these is it's not like digital. It's got a actual cable that when you turn the knobs, the cable pulls in and out. So if yours breaks from either side, you're gonna have to tear it apart. Let me get the stereo harness out of the way here because it's fucking annoying. Okay, so what happens is it's all controlled by a wire, as you can see right there in the bottom. So this tab right here, it broke off, and all that's holding this wire in place like this is this little metal tab that goes over it, and it just pushes in. And you can see it broke from the plastic on this side, and it broke from the plastic right here, and I lost the tab. You guys can see it. The wire or the cable goes in here like this. Put it in from one side, slide the cable over, and it goes in that little groove, and you just press it down and it clips it in. So what happens is when it breaks and you try to turn this, the whole cable just moves. See? So the whole cable just moves, and it doesn't let you switch the vents or from hot to cold. So the quick fix that I'm about to do is I'm gonna take a couple zip ties, right? You take a couple zip ties. You zip tie this. You zip tie the cable, you do a little loop around it, push it through this side, okay? Then you zip tie another one on this side, and then you push it through, and then they're both gonna be loose on the other side. So then what you do on this side is both loops are going to be coming out from each side. You take a third zip tie and you zip tie them together just to tighten it, just to pull this cable in this way. Then after that, you take another zip tie and you zip tie the whole thing straight through to hold it down, and then that should keep the cable from moving. I'll give you an example here. Okay. When the cable can't move, let's see if I can do this better, because okay. That's not gonna work. Hold on, guys. Bear with me here. I'm trying to set you up because I only got one hand. Okay, so pretty much when the cable's stationary and it doesn't have anywhere to move, I'm just holding it with my finger right now, so I can show you guys. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay, so you just gotta get the cable to stay in that one spot, and then watch, see how the actual cable comes out. So we don't want it to move. So the zip ties are gonna keep it in place. So once we zip tie it down, and it's up here, and then when the wire goes back in, it'll just push in and out and it won't move. So that's the easy way to repair that. If that made any sense to you guys, you just want to get this wire back in its position and just zip tie it down. So this plastic part, the housing where the wire is inside the sleeve, I guess, doesn't move. Either that, or you're gonna have to pop both little wires out and get a whole new control unit. Might be easier, but we're not trying to waste money on this, so I'm just gonna zip tie that down. Because when I was driving, it's cold out right now, the whole windows would fog up and I couldn't switch vents. I couldn't switch it to the defrost. So it was a pain in the fucking ass. So if you have a 05 Nissan Sentra, I'm assuming a couple years before or after should be the same. It's just that little tab that breaks off. See this one? It's not broken. This is the one that actually had the tab. So even on the good side, I'm gonna zip tie it just to make sure it's secure and doesn't pop off ever. But that's it, man. You can't switch vents on your car, or you can't switch from hot to cold because your knob feels like it's stuck. When it breaks, you can tell because you try to turn it to the next one, it just feels really tight, like something's holding it, like it can't move. And that's just that cable going like this. Instead of staying straight and the wire in the cable pulling in it out, it bends on itself like that, and you're never gonna get it to work. So if that made any sense, makes sense in my head. So quick fix, don't waste any money. Alright guys, so the way I envisioned it in my head, I kind of went about it a little bit differently. So I just grabbed a big enough zip tie, pushed it through here, it went around the top, came back in over the cable, and I put it back in through the same hole, brought it back over the top, and I closed the zip tie right here. Then what I did is I grabbed another zip tie, I looped it in around the top, then back in this hole, and then I tightened it right there. If you guys could see. And what we're trying to do is, we're keeping this from moving back. So look, after I put the zip ties, pulls out forward nice, it goes back in pretty good enough for me. So that's all you gotta do. You just want to hold that cable in place. I'm gonna add another zip tie just to reinforce it, because I do not want to go back in here. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side, even though the other side isn't broken. I'm just gonna put a zip tie around the clamp. But here's how it looks from the top. You see, the one that's looped around the wire goes all the way through and it ties over here. Alright guys, you'll figure it out. It's not that hard. Just zip tie that shit down so it don't move. Alright guys, You guys can see the bracket, right? So that's the little bracket. And I just put a zip tie around it to keep it in place so it don't move out. Don't move out of place if it breaks. So you can see how it works. Look, that bracket just keeps that cable in place. So you can turn the knob and it pushes in and out. So same thing on the other side. When these break, you can't switch setting to setting. He'll try to turn it and it'll either turn and pop, or it'll feel really hard because the cable's just bending. But zip ties will do it.